Wire fraud. It's real and it's affecting real estate investors in a big, big way. On today's episode, we're going to show you how to protect yourself. Hey everyone, I'm Clayton Morris.
I'm Natalie Morris.
And this is the show where we teach you about financial intelligence, building financial freedom. The vehicle that we use is buy and hold real estate. That's how we've achieved financial freedom. So we try to make sure that you have the financial chops to go out there and do it yourself, right?
That's exactly right. So today we're going to talk about something that's a little bit scary. We don't want to scare you, but we want to make sure that you always do your due diligence. Because nowadays, when you buy a real estate investment, most escrow companies will not accept a check. Almost all of them require that you actually send your money by wire to the title company. So this makes this industry rife for hacking.
How much hacking? Well, the FBI, according to the FBI report in 2018, so last year, they saw a 136% increase in wire fraud and to the tune of about $12 billion. And the reason this is particularly scary for investors or new home buyers is that you might be buying your dream home. That's where it mostly affects people, is in the retail home buying space, right? You found your dream home. It's in California. It's $800,000. And on the day of the closing, you get a mysterious email that says, hey, wire your down payment right now. And they do. And guess what? That money then somehow mysteriously wound up overseas in Nigeria. And it didn't actually wind up at the title company where it was supposed to go for the closing of the property. And now what's particularly scary about it is that the bank cannot reimburse you because it's not covered.
The wire is not insured.
The wire is not insured. And guess what? The FBI can't really get it back because it's overseas. And so your money is gone in that situation.
We've seen some pretty heartbreaking things. My mother used to be, she spent 30 years working in title and escrow in California. And this was something that she really, towards the end of her career, they were trained so diligently about this because they would have people who would it's not the title company that's hacked, right? Because the title company, they really work hard to make sure that no hackers can get into their system and access their funds and their information. But a lot of times a hacker can figure out that you are buying or selling a property by getting into your email, right? Or based on your web searches. And they say, oh, okay, well then I'm going to then spoof the title company. That means they send you an email that looks like it came from your title officer and say, here's your wiring instructions, Clayton Morris. And you say, great. So you go to the bank and you wire the money to the wrong person. Who got hacked here? Not the title company, you, right? Or maybe some kind of intermediary. And what they do is send you different wiring instructions. You don't know any better, and you send your money off to somewhere where you can't get it back.
So number one in this is to be vigilant, to look and actually make sure that you're having a legitimate conversation. If you notice something, say something, right? If something seems odd, like the other day I got something from Apple. It was a random email and it seemed strange because Apple doesn't send these types of emails. And so I just deleted it because if Apple really needs to get a hold of me for this particular reason, they will, right? I'll log into my iTunes account and then I'll see an alert there. But they're not going to send me an email. And these phishing emails are how all of this happens. And so it can be a title company that has their email hacked. It can be a lawyer. According to the FBI, it could be a lawyer's legal office that has their email hacked. It could be the mortgage company. It could be any of them. It doesn't really matter. So if you get an email from a mortgage company or a lawyer that says, you need to send your money to this account, okay, first of all, the next step is to get on the phone, okay? You've got to do voice verification and call up the attorney that you've been talking with over the past few weeks. Call them. Don't wait for them to call you. Call their number, look it up, call them. Say, yes, I'd like to speak to Attorney Brown. Hi, I received an email this morning. I want to make sure it's from your office, and I want to confirm these numbers, this routing number and this bank account number. Once you have that confirmation, then you can pretty much be sure that that's the right thing. You're talking to the attorney. He's giving you verification. You're confirming these account numbers, and then you're golden.
We tell all of our investors to make sure to double check their wiring information by calling the title company, because you just never know. What you think that the title company sent the right wiring information, but someone could have sent something else as a follow-up, and then they send their money there. So yes, always, it's fine for them to send it by email. I never worry about that. Sure, send me something. And then I'm going to call up and say, hi, I'd like to verify wiring instructions, and just have somebody there repeat all the account numbers, make sure you have it digit by digit, and that's when you can send your information. My mom actually told me a story of someone who had been hacked. So a hacker knew that this person was about to, say, buy or sell a property, right? I think they were, they must have been imitating the seller because they wanted the money to be wired to them. So they started calling the person at the title company in California and saying, hey, Judy, I'm the seller on so-and-so. I just want to make sure we're all set. Yeah, we're all set, Mr. So-and-so. Great. Okay, so this person was calling Judy regularly for weeks, so that when then Judy went to wire the proceeds from the sale, she wired it to Mr. Hacker, not the actual seller, because the actual seller was never calling her. How would she know that, right?
Right.
Because so-and-so seller was hacked. So if you are even the seller where the money's coming into you, don't just email the title company your wiring information for the proceeds. You want to actually call them and say, I want to make sure that you're going to pay me in the right account when that happens. Yeah. A lot of times the title companies do that anyway.
Right. And so one thing the FBI is warning about is that if you receive a random phone call from someone purporting to be a title person or whatever, no, you want to call them back.
Right.
And say, I'm gonna call you back. Hang up. Get their phone number, the phone number that you know is true and accurate based on your correspondence, right? Call that phone number to the main office and ask to speak to the person. And if that person's not there, guess what? That person was hacked. So we don't mean to scare you, but there are just some simple things that you can do. Number one is change the password on your accounts regularly. Mm-hmm. You could even use a great app like 1Password, which is 1Password is phenomenal. It's a great app, and it works on your desktop, it works on your phone, and it's something that it'll create an encryption vault, and you can store all of your passwords. No one will have access to that. And so update your passwords regularly. We'll have a link to 1Password below so you can check it out. I love them. That's something I use. I always push it on her.
Also, use two-factor authentication, right? So when your email client or your bank or any kind of service says, would you like authentication on your mobile device? Always say yes, because then you know when someone's trying to get into your account. So maybe your password, like an idiot, is 12345, right? And someone guesses it and gets in there. But if it's a new device, they're going to then send you a text message with an authentication code. And at least then you'll stop them there, because they can't get further than the code on your cell phone, right? But please don't use dumb passwords like that.
Another great key here is to talk to your bank, have a relationship with them. And you can actually ask your bank to make sure that no money is wired without voice verification. Like they have to call you, or you have to call them. Sorry, you have to call them to make sure that the wire can go through.
Well, some of them actually call you back. Like if you use, we used to use Capital One Spark Business a lot. And I would call up and have to give the wiring information. And then they would say, okay, we're not going to send this now. We're going to call you back within the next half hour to verify all of these things. And you would have to wait. Sometimes I thought that that was super inconvenient, because I was like, no, I need it to go right now. But now that I know that this is a thing, I'm super happy that they did that.
Yeah. So really smart. Talk to your bank, and you can actually ask them voice verification, and they will abide that. Another great thing is just don't react quickly to emails. So if someone sends you an email like, you need to do this right now, you're like, this is fishy. This looks odd. This email seems out of the blue and weird, and I wasn't even told that I needed to send this amount of money at this time. It seems strange. Question it and call up the title company or call up the attorney that you're working with and make sure that they haven't been hacked, and actually tell them you received this funky email. Maybe it's time that you guys change your passwords or update your passwords, because I think something happened here.
So we don't want to scare you. We just want to make sure that you don't over rely on technology because, you know, the real estate industry has changed so much with technology, but this is one way that you have to be a little bit analog about it and just make sure that you know exactly where your money's going, because we've seen too many people get burned and then you just don't know your resources towards recovering that money. It's not like an errant credit card transaction. It's much, much harder. So we don't want to see anyone go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. So that's wire fraud. Doesn't have to be scary as long as you protect yourself and take some of the precautions we talked about in today's video. I'd love to hear if you know of anyone that has had this happen to them. Share your stories with us. We'd love to hear them.
We would not love to hear that.
Well, I mean,
that's not what we want to hear.
I didn't mean it that way. I don't mean we don't want it. We love it. I'd be very sad to hear those stories, but share them because I think it can help us all protect ourselves, right? All right, that's today's episode. We'll see you next time, everyone. Now go out there, take action, and become a real estate investor. Don't be scared about this kind of stuff. Don't let this stuff stop you.
Don't be scared. Be smart.
Be smart. We'll see you next time.